Yo, what's going on everybody? It's Zombo here, and today we have a bit of a different video. We are doing something that we typically do every year at this point now. It might just be an annual thing. I don't know. It's kind of a review and reflect video, and this is something I originally started doing, to be honest, mainly for myself. I mainly did this as a way for me to really self-reflect on what I've been doing, you know, what's been going well, what didn't go well, what kinds of things should I look for doing in the future, what things need to change on the channel and that kind of stuff. And that was the main purpose of me doing this 2 years ago when I started this review thing. And I decided that I wanted to not only keep this self-reflection for myself, but share it with you guys as the community. You guys are just as much a part of this as I am, and I think it's only right for you guys to also hear these thoughts on the matter, and that's what this is for. Just a real way for me to be transparent with you guys. So you guys know what's going on in my head, what's going on the channel, what to expect in the future. So I kind of break these videos down into sections, kind of like a past, a present, and a future. Past, looking at things that happened this last year. Present is where we're currently at, and future is what kinds of things to expect in the future. So I will be talking about several games that I played throughout the year. I will have footage of the games playing as well. I do want to make a disclaimer that I will not do any spoilers for those games. The footage that I will take will be from the early parts of the game within the first hour, 2 hours, something like that, depending on the game and how long it is. So if you haven't played the game, haven't watched the series, whatever, don't worry about it. So I also want to make this very clear, though I will be talking about games over the year, it isn't like, oh, I'm giving a review of all these games. That's not the purpose of this video. The games that I'm going to be talking about are going to be more in the context of me personally and the channel as a whole. You know, like, did a series do well? What did the series mean to me? Like that kind of thing. Not so much like, I love the story of this game. The characters were phenomenal. Like, it's possible I may bring that up as a reason for it meaning so much to me, but that's not really the focus. It's really more personable and channel oriented. For those of you only caring about certain parts of this video or certain games or whatever, I will have timestamps on this video so you can jump to whatever you want to watch and whatever you want to see. So with all that said, let's just jump into the first game. So we start off the year with a continuation of a game that we were playing at the end of last year as well, and that is Final Fantasy VIII. So this game was actually pretty monumental to me in a more unique way. That game made me realize how much I really like voice acting characters with you guys on stream, because it seemed like a lot of you guys really enjoyed the voices that I did. In fact, some of you guys even said the iconic character, I guess for me anyways, Zell, who I gave a German voice to, you guys can't even hear him in any other way now. He's always German to you. And he never was before my playthrough, which is really crazy to hear and also really cool. I don't know, it just really opened a new light for me. Something that I didn't realize I enjoyed so much, but I did. And there's a lot of scenes in there with a lot of different characters that I just really enjoyed voicing, and it made me proud of myself a little bit for that as well. And granted, my voice acting is very spotty and my reading capabilities are questionable, as many of you guys know and love to joke about, but I had a good time and I really enjoyed it, and I'd love to do more of it and get better at it. And someday, you know, maybe if I get good enough, I would love to voice act something for real, but we'll see if that day ever comes, but it'd be fun. I think I would really love to do that. That was like the big highlight of that, is just the voices I was able to do and just realizing that in myself. Not to mention that the series actually did very well on the channel. It was something that started right after Final Fantasy X type era, which was also running alongside Final Fantasy X-2, which we will talk about shortly here. It was awesome to see the people who joined me on that series, and wow, it feels like so long ago. It really does. I'm very grateful for everybody who was able to join me on that experience, because I really enjoyed it a lot. It was a bumpy road for sure. There was points of that game where I was enjoying it more than others. However, overall, and especially second half of that game, I definitely really had a good time playing it. So as I just mentioned, we also were playing Final Fantasy X-2 at the same time as 8, which was kind of crazy. And it kind of led to me putting in a new self-inflicted rule, and that was to space out Final Fantasy a little bit more. Because we were like, Final Fantasy, everything. Everything was Final Fantasy. Which is cool because, you know, a lot of us on the channel here are all you're from Final Fantasy. That's where the main bulk of my viewer base comes from, is Final Fantasy. But not everybody wants that, or in that quantity. Also, I want Final Fantasy to be something that doesn't just get rushed done. I want it to last on the channel. There's no reason to rush to get it all done. So the rule that I self-inflicted after playing 8 and 10-2 together was, we're gonna do one Final Fantasy game at a time. We're not gonna double up at all. So getting back to 10-2, it seems like there's a lot of controversy on this game on whether or not people like it or not. Luckily for me, and it's probably just because people came into the series who enjoy the game, everybody in chat seemed to like the game. But yeah, it was really cool. We actually were able to grasp a lot of people from that series as well. 10-2 was a very successful series as well. In fact, the era of Final Fantasy VIII and 10-2 was actually a very positive era on the channel in terms of, you know, quote unquote success, relatively speaking, to my channel. Viewership was happening. People were coming back to streams and constantly viewing what I was doing. And that was really awesome to see. It felt like we had a continuous community of people recurring from that. And that was awesome to see. Not only just new people who were there for Final Fantasy, but also people who ended up, you know, joining us for streams after that and being regular people on streams and the channel and the community, and both in streams and Discord. And that's freaking awesome. And I love that. And that makes me so happy. So following Final Fantasy VIII, once that wrapped up, we started our God of War Ragnarok playthrough. God of War Ragnarok was a similar experience for me with 2018. It was a game that I enjoyed playing a lot, and I thought it's an amazing game. I think it's a big game that people really like. And just like 2018, I was surprised at how little attention it got. I felt like that was going to be a big game that people would really gravitate towards and just love the lore and the world and everything and the characters. But that just wasn't the case, which is fine. I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed the game. Sometimes it does seem that games that I really enjoy aren't the games that people are looking for more playthroughs on YouTube for. But sometimes I just gotta play games because I like them. Let's be real, you're gonna enjoy watching playthroughs more if someone who enjoys a game than someone who absolutely hates the game. Unless if you're sympathizing in their hate for a game. Yeah, it was a very comparable experience to me for 2018. However, I will say it did seem like more people showed up to streams than 2018. You know, as I've grown on YouTube, there's more people who are just popping into streams and all that kind of stuff and are just willing to watch whatever is there. So that's awesome. So overall, it was still better in terms of, you know, community and interaction than 2018, but relatively the same when you're looking at the statistics. All right, and now we get to a very, very, very special entry this year into my channel and the work I've put into it over the past 3 years. Something that probably means the most to me today, and that is my Final Fantasy VII retrospective. This was a beast, and it was worth every second of it. 100%, no regrets. I was losing some motivation by the end of it, and that is mainly because of the time constraint I put myself on and the absolute intense amount of work I put myself in at the beginning of this year. For those of you who maybe weren't here or maybe don't remember or whatever, the beginning of this year, we were not doing uploads. We did not do uploads at all until technically the retrospective Rebirth, which then followed the retrospective. That was the first series we did this year. So the whole month of January and February, for that matter, no uploads. What I was doing during that time was, one, I was making the review video for last year during the early weeks of January. I was also making the best of video for the previous year of 2023 in January. And I was also working on the retrospective for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that went into February, and that was a beast. So the retrospective was basically my experience replaying the game on hard mode, how playing the game several years later, 2 years later, made me feel, and the nostalgia that I felt for a game that was really close to my heart and just the channel in general. The game meant and means a lot to me, and I hope that showed in my video. I had amazing feedback on that video. When I look at YouTube analytics as well, not just from how it made me feel, but from YouTube analytics, there is a massive spike when I uploaded that video of watch time and people actually like sitting down and watching that video, which says so much. The watch time ratio on that video was insane. And I am so thankful for that, because like I said, I worked my ass off at the beginning of this year to try to get that out, both replaying the game, watching cutscenes, writing a script, recording the script, getting the music all put into there, getting footage that's relevant to what I'm saying in the video, and putting that all together and compiling it. It was a lot. It was so much. And I'm very proud of what I was able to make out of it in such a short amount of time. Because like I said, I had myself on a short timetable, self-inflicted. I wanted to make sure it was out before Rebirth. And so, like I said earlier, the end of the process of making that video, I was getting a little bit slogged and drained a little bit from all that. And I felt like towards the end of the video, it kind of went down a little bit in the quality, but I think I was able to maintain most of the momentum there. It was my first time doing something like that, so there was a lot of nerves and I didn't know how well it would be received, if what I was saying was something people would care about. There was a lot of uncertainties. The results were wonderful and I was very happy with the outcome. It's one of my best videos to date in terms of popularity on the channel for views. It is definitely one of the best ones when it comes to watch time and all that kind of stuff. So that is really awesome to see, and I'm very thankful. Thank you to everybody who checked that out, because like I said, that was a very meaningful video to me. I put a lot of heart into that and a lot of soul. Based on the comments and stuff, it seems like that came through to you guys as well, and I definitely want to do more of those in the future. So following Final Fantasy VII Remake Retrospective, I then went into Rebirth, which the reason why I wanted to get the retrospective out was because I wanted to make sure it was out before Rebirth. Otherwise, I feel like some relevancy kind of falls off of it a little bit. I got it out about a week before Rebirth released. I would have liked to get it out sooner, but it is what it is. But Rebirth. Where do I start with this one? There is so much to say about this. There's a roller coaster of emotions with this one. There really is the awesome, the good, the bad, and the ugly with this one. It is all over the board. Fortunately, for the most part, in terms of my experience with the game, is very positive, extremely positive. It's the behind the scenes and mentally, that's the bad and the ugly. So let's start with the good news. The good news is that series did very well. It, in some ways, was better than the remake in terms of views. There's definitely videos there that got more views than the original series that I did of the remake. However, I think overall the viewer retention of watch time and all that, generally speaking, was better on the remake, just the retention of the video, than some Rebirth stuff. Part of that might just be the time. It might be the fact that, you know, everybody and their dog was playing Rebirth right now when I was playing it back, you know, February, March, all that kind of time. So it might have been a little bit diluted in the content there. But I mean, I was really happy with the content I made. Very proud of the work I did. I put a lot into that series. It's a series that I knew was going to mean a lot to me going into it, and it was not a disappointment. And I really put my whole heart and soul into it from the get-go. I worked my absolute ass off doing it, and I love the experience. If you guys want to know how much I love the game, just watch the series, or watch what I'll get to later, my experience that I made of that game later in the year. I feel like the part I should focus on a little bit more is the behind the scenes type stuff. So when the game released, it was the 29th of February, and I also happened to be dog sitting during that time. On top of me being very excited to play this game and getting into it and recording, and I don't have the capability to work on this stuff when I'm not at my apartment, and I can't dog sit at my apartment due to restrictions of, you know, the apartment that I'm in. So I was doing a lot of commuting back and forth multiple times a day for set durations so I could get back to the dog and take care of the dog as well. and it was a lot at the very start there. I persevered through it because I was so excited to play the game and all that kind of stuff. And I was able to do it. I got through it, and I was able to record a bunch, edit a bunch, and keep a schedule going. That kind of work kind of proceeded through the experience of Rebirth for me. Constantly editing, recording a bunch. In fact, I did a lot of pre-recording because I also was going to have a surgery. I was doing more dog sitting. Like, there was so many responsibilities I had outside of Rebirth that were adding to my plate, making it so I was working double or triple time before, you know, I was dog sitting / my surgery, so I didn't have to worry about it during that time. And what it meant is I had zero time for anything. I literally woke up, I went to work, I came home, I edited, and that was my life for 4 months, basically. And it was exhausting. You know, I was able to stay pretty strong with it in the worst of it, which was definitely March. March was the absolute worst of it all, into April, because that's when a lot of my dog sitting and surgery was happening. But then going into May and June, you know, it was a little bit easier because I didn't have all these things that I was trying to pre-plan for. Though I did dog sit again at the end of May. It really, it was just so much the whole time. It was so much. And by the end of it, I was so drained, and I was worn so thin of just constantly working, and it just affected so much, and I was so tired. I destroyed my sleep schedule. I was up till the early mornings of the AM during that whole series. And the point of me telling you this is not to be like, have any kind of pity for me. That's not the point of this, because this is all self-inflicted. There's no reason to be sorry for me. I did this to myself. This was a choice I made. The point of me saying this is that I've learned my limitations more. You know, doing that destroyed me after 4 months. It was something I was feeling for months after, which is a huge reason why there was a lack of uploads the remainder of the year. And in fact, I never did a series after that this year. It was because of what that did to me. So needless to say, I won't be doing something like that again. It's possible that some changes need to happen in the future. The weird thing about Rebirth is that it was an open world game, which means that certain episodes I recorded were like 5 hours long that I reduced down to like an hour for you guys, which was just a lot of work on my end. Not so much for stuff that you guys get to see because I just streamlined it for you guys. But editing is the most time consuming part of this whole process. So the fact that I have these 5-hour videos that I need to edit through just makes it a lot of work. Now, with some of the ugly and bad aside, just to twinkle in some more good stuff about this series is the work that I put into it wasn't, I guess, unnoticed or unwarranted. You know, people were actually enjoying the stuff I was making. In fact, some of the videos actually are some of my top videos on my channel. There was 2 episodes in particular that really took off and really shot up, which was awesome to see. And I'm very thankful for that. I mean, overall, minus the self-inflicted stuff that I did to myself and the behind the scenes of me working my ass off on those videos, you know, a very awesome experience and a very good time playing that game. And definitely one of the top games. It was better than Remake in like every way, in my opinion, which is crazy to hear me say, but it is. I feel like in time, the Remake and Rebirth are probably gonna have similar nostalgia values, with the Remake just being slightly above for, you know, channel reasons and personal reasons. But with the Rebirth shenanigans aside, the next thing I want to talk about is kind of something that happened at multiple points throughout the year, but the first instance was in March, and that was for my birthday, and that was a Jackbox stream. This was the first year we did Jackbox, and wow, was it a success. Like, holy shit. People loved Jackbox. And even my parents liked watching Jackbox, which was really cool. My dad had asked me, oh, so how often do you do something like that? Because he wanted to like check it out and be like, oh yeah, when can I check out this stuff? First off, shout out to my parents for amazing support. You guys are awesome. Secondly, thank you for all you guys who participate in those games with me, because obviously I can't do that without you guys. I need people to play it with. And I'm really glad that you guys all enjoy that, because I definitely really enjoy that. I literally bought 5 games because we enjoyed it so much. The stream in March, I only had a little starter pack of some popular games, which was like only 3 games on there because I didn't know how it was gonna go. But it was such a success that I ended up buying 5 packs in a bundle that we ended up playing later throughout the year, and it was absolutely wonderful. Definitely a great experience on the channel. We gained a lot of people from that, and people who were consistent on the channel and still come back to this day. I am incredibly grateful for that, and thank you guys for doing that and having enough fun to, you know, stick around. Another game that we did that has, from community members, probably more negative than positive. I enjoyed the experience. There's a select number of people who also enjoyed the experience. It was to have fun. We played what I called Gamer Learns Rizz, which we played a Chinese dating simulator. It was just a fun time. I thought it was just funny. It was just funny, but people didn't necessarily have the same opinions on it, which is fine. We won't do something like that again unless if people change their tune or a lot of new people come in who just really want something like that again. But it happened. Anyways, moving on. So a big thing on the channel was Alice Returns to Madness, and not because of the game particularly, but because this was kind of the start of a new avenue that I was able to go down on the channel. And that's because Alice Return to Madness, oh, sorry. It's called, I always get the name wrong. Alice Madness Returns. It's because that game was on PC. And the reason why PC was opened as another avenue for us was because I purchased both for my birthday as a partial birthday present, just something to get for the channel. I purchased a graphics card and allowed me to actually play PC games while recording / streaming / whatever at the same time, which is huge because before I was not able to do PC games at all. And it was only PlayStation games or Switch games I was doing before. So this just opened up a plethora of opportunities for us because PC has a vast collection of games. So playing Alice was great for that because I was able to see how that worked, and it worked great. It worked awesome. The new graphics card that I got was phenomenal. I got a 4070 Ti Super, which, yes, there are nicer graphics cards on the market. However, I felt like that was the most power per dollar that you can possibly get on the market right now. And I still stand by that. Once you start going above that, you're paying more dollar per power. I think it runs at like $800 though, a little bit pricier, but definitely worth it in my opinion. I can run so much on my computer at the same time. It's insane. Next, we have Elden Ring, which was a very special one for me because I did a series on the channel of Elden Ring, which was a recorded series. This time, I did a live stream of Elden Ring, which I said in my first review that I did on the channel after I played Elden Ring, that Elden Ring definitely felt like more like a live stream type of game, but at the time I wasn't live streaming at all, so it wasn't even an option in my head. I just wanted to play Elden Ring. So we did. But my reflection on that game was, you know, this was probably not something I'd be able to do again as an upload series because it's such a long thing. And then Rebirth happened, which I spent more hours in Rebirth than I did in Elden Ring, but I still made that an uploaded series. And I made it less episodes. Well, that's kind of impressive. I don't care how long Rebirth is. I was going to do that in an upload series no matter what. Even if it was 700 episodes, I would still do it as an upload series. I don't care. I was committed to that, and I have zero regrets on that front. But yeah, so actually playing Elden Ring in a live stream setting was great. I mean, I think it worked way better than the uploaded series that I did. To actually have you guys be able to join me on that experience was really fun. I know the first stream for sure was so much fun to me. I think I was just in a very good energy that day, and I clipped so many moments from that episode, or that stream, whatever you want to call it. I clipped a lot of moments from there because I just thought it was like really enjoyable. And maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I just really liked it. Some episodes were stronger than others in the Elden Ring thing, but that goes for any series ever. It was a pretty good time overall. I had some rage in there for sure. There's some rage. If you guys like that, there's definitely some of that in there. There's also a lot of funny moments in my opinion. All right, next we get to probably the thing that I'm second proudest of, and that is my P&P Nuzlocke version 2.0 technically. So I did an upload of this, and this was following Rebirth for this video I was making. So I wanted to make a rule video for my P&P Nuzlocke so anybody can follow along. Also, they got a crash course on the rules before we get into the stream of P&P Nuzlocke. And unfortunately, because this followed Rebirth immediately, and I recorded some of it while working on Rebirth, in fact, it was during the time when I was really drained and lacking a lot of energy and motivation. And that definitely reflected in the product of the video that I made, both my voiceover that I did and just the quality of the content that I made. It was very editing intensive for that video. I spent a lot of time editing each part of that video. I also had to record footage, and that failed to record properly. I had to re-record the footage, which was already demoralizing. It was a very messy process. Fortunately, the good part about it is that video did very well. People really, really liked the idea, which I kind of had an inkling that it would, because jump back to a couple of years ago when I did Pokemon Scarlet playthrough with my version 1 D&D Nuzlocke. The idea was something that the analytics showed was interesting to people. You know, the views were high. However, the watch time was low, which means the way that it was executed was not very good. So that's why I did a 2.0, because I'm like, okay, there's definitely interest here. There's something I can do with this. And so let me try again. And so I did. And a lot of awesome feedback on that video, people really liking the idea. And that was freaking awesome. Very happy about that. I'm a little bit disappointed that, you know, I wasn't as happy with the outcome of that content. And then so many people watched it. It makes me wonder, if I was actually proud and I put, you know, my full energy and full time into this video, you know, how well would I have done then? So it's like the shoulda, woulda, couldas type situation there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it did awesome. People really amazing feedback on that. Some cool ideas in the comments as well. Something that I want to evolve to a version 3.0 in the future. And I have an idea of how I want to do that, thanks to some ideas in the comments that I want to kind of expand upon and integrate into the version 2 that I made, and see how I can make that work. The series of it was decent, definitely better than Scarlet and Violet, which isn't surprising. That was the first thing I've ever streamed on my channel in terms of a series. You'd hope it does better than that. And also the unique idea definitely brings in intrigue. So we definitely had new people come in, and I am also very grateful that some of those people who came into those streams and checking out that content stayed after for things not Pokemon, and just pop into streams regularly, which is amazing. It's so cool. I love that so much. It just means so much to me, man, that people do that. It just means so much, because that's a different level of, I guess, involvement and connection to the channel, and I guess me and the community. Really hits home. There was some streams that were better than others. In fact, I think even the finale was a little bit dead in terms of the viewership there, which was unfortunate, but it's okay. You know, I persevered through it. Luckily, I know Ryu was there with me the whole time. Appreciate you, Ryu. Thank you for that. So hopefully a version 3.0 can be even better than the 2.0. We'll see. I will be doing one, so stay tuned for that. Next, we have Final Fantasy 9. This was a very fun experience for me, actually. The game wasn't my all-time favorite. My level of enjoyment was, it kind of swooped right up here at the start, and as the game progressed, it went down, which is like the opposite graph you want. But regardless of how much I enjoyed the game, I did fully enjoy the experience, and experiencing with you guys in particular. Something that I loved about that game was voicing the characters. Again, just like Final Fantasy VIII, I really enjoyed voicing the characters. So just the act of experiencing and playing the game was fun for me. The game itself and the story was maybe less so. Doing all the characters' voices and all that kind of stuff was so much fun. I did so many different like variations of voices, from like a Gollum voice to a nasally voice to a girl voice to a guy voice, a deep voice, a high-pitched voice, a freaking femboy voice. I did so many different voices in that game. It was just a lot of fun. I just have so much fun with that stuff. And it's, like I said, very akin to Final Fantasy VIII, a very similar experience. 9, I would definitely say, has more characters to go through, though. I think a lot of cool moments came out of there, a lot of funny moments. I made a lot of clips of that game. It's not ranked high in my Final Fantasy list, but that doesn't mean that I can't have a very good experience with it. A very special series to me this year was Tales of Arise, and this series was special in the sense that I played the game before several years ago when it came out in 2021, but I hadn't played it since. So this was me kind kind of having a redux of it. I forgot most of the story. Maybe the last third would be more specific of what I was kind of more of a blur. But what I did remember is how the game made me feel, and I loved it. I loved it so much, the characters and the experience and everything. And being able to do it on the channel was something that I've wanted to do pretty much since my channel was out, because I regretted playing it. Not because I didn't like it, but because I'm like, oh man, this would have been an amazing thing to do on the channel. I would have played this just before starting my YouTube channel, actually, because this game came out, I think, in September of 2021. And I created my channel December 27th of 2021. I was really mad at myself that I played it before I started my channel, because I'm like, this would have been a perfect game to play on the channel that I would have fallen in love with and would have had so much appreciation and love for. And so come 2024 here, when I actually played it with you guys, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was a flip the script type moment where I was able to share a game I really love with you guys instead of the other way around. Normally you guys are like, oh, I love this game, I want you to play it. And I got to do the opposite, where a lot of you guys don't know the game, Tales of Arise, and I was able to share it with you guys and share what I love about it and what a fun experience it is. Now, with that said, the game's not over. You know, we got through the main game and everything. We do have DLC left at the time of making this video anyways. That is completely new to me. I've never played that. I've never seen a trailer. I don't know what to expect. So that's going to be very, very exciting. That's the main catalyst for me starting this playthrough on the channel. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Wheel of Torture, which is a yearly thing now? Question mark? It seems like people really like it, so I think it's gonna be a yearly thing that comes around every Halloween. This was something I did last year. We'd played Five Nights at Freddy's last year. This year we did Jackbox because it was such a success earlier in the year and people seem to really like that. I also came up with a new spin on the Wheel of Torture this year, which was to get you guys involved in the game as well. Unlike last year when we were playing Five Nights at Freddy's, we're basically just watching me play Five Nights at Freddy's, die within a minute, and then spin the wheel. I had no time to reset, which sucked for me because it was very compounded pain, which made my tolerance go down, 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 down. With Jackbox, it was like more like 20, 30 minutes, depending on what game we were playing, before I had to do another torture item, which gave me some time to reset, which allowed me to go longer, which I forget how long that stream was, like 7, 8 hours almost. It was a pretty damn long stream. So yeah, I wanted to integrate you guys into the game. The way I did that was obviously Jackbox, where you guys were playing with me, and having you guys control somewhat of what my torture item was. So how I did that was, if you won, you basically have the choice of respinning the wheel one time, which I thought was a really cool way to involve you guys in the game more. You know, yes, I'm playing the games with you, but that allows you to have an extra reward for actually winning the game and not just like, you know, a pat on the back, you did it. And I was very happy with that. I was very, very happy with that. I think it worked out very, very well. We had a lot of people join that stream, and people who, again, like other Jackbox before, stuck on the channel. There was a lot of really good funny moments in there, a lot of good clips. Yeah, I think those are just really fun streams, and just through and through, they take a lot of time to set up, and also a pretty penny because I gotta purchase a lot of stuff, but it's definitely worth it. So not something I can do all the time, but definitely something I can do now and again, at least once a year. And last but certainly not least, we have the My Experience that I started this year just to see how it went. So what that was I took Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and I made a My Experience playthrough. So I took some key moments that were funny or reactionary, if that's a word. Basically my reactions. If I reacted a certain way that I thought was maybe funny, maybe it was just a strong reaction, or it really hit me a certain way, I include that in this video to make a very, very digestible way to experience Rebirth without watching the 50 episode or however many it was that I had for the main game. Something that I would consider doing again for like a really long series, or one that I'm just very passionate about. It definitely works best with an uploaded thing than a stream, in my opinion, but never say never, I guess. With all the gains and reflecting on that behind us, now we can get to more present day. So some of the things that I want to talk about with present day stuff is kind of where we're at currently. We've kind of been in a, you know, I call it a content slog. I've been streaming and doing shorts every week and consistently doing so. Those of you who maybe haven't noticed, I've I do 2 live streams every single week, and I have been continuous with that, with few exceptions. And I also have been doing and keeping on board with doing 2 shorts a week. I have been able to get into the swing of that and get into the swing of things with that. The reason why I say we're in a content slug is because I have not been doing uploads for 6 months. I did also have a video in September about, this whole upload situation, but it wouldn't really be a year review without me talking about that, because that was a huge point. It has been something that I'm not proud of and something that doesn't feel good to me. It makes me feel like I'm lazy, I'm not providing content that some people prefer, and I would say most people prefer. In my opinion, or at least how I see it, is live streams is lazier content than uploads, because quite frankly, they take a hell of a lot less work to do. Yes, streams like the Wheel of Torture stream are going to be less lazy, but through and through, uploads are way more time intensive and give you more avenues for creativity, because you have power of editing, and you can add to a video by editing, by adding music, adding zoom ins to my webcam, or adding, images to establish a visual for something I'm talking about. Like, there's so much you can do with it that amplifies the quality of the content. Also, you can cut out the boring bits. There's just a lot more that goes into it, and there's a lot more heart and soul that kind of goes into it as a second wave. Because streaming, obviously I put heart and soul into the stream itself originally, but with an upload, I have that original heart and soul, and then I put more heart and soul on top of it, which is like a freaking Care Bear hug of content. Uploads is where I started this channel, and are something that is important to me to do, and the fact that I haven't been doing it just upsets me, I guess. It makes me disappointed in myself, to say the least. So that's something that I would like to remedy moving forward, but we can get to that when we talk about some future stuff. So the second and probably most important thing about this whole video is I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for being here, for giving my channel a chance, giving me a chance, taking time to click on my video and see what's happening. And especially thank you to you guys who comment on my stuff, because some of you guys are very consistent with commenting on stuff, and it does mean a lot. I want to thank you guys, those of you who actually do that, because it does mean a lot. It's nice to be able to interact with you guys and also hear your thoughts on what I'm doing, because stats are one thing, like, you get X amount of likes or X amount of views or X amount of watch time, which it can be an indicator, but it's a very numerical indicator. It's very logical, analytical. That's what those numbers are. You don't get emotion, you don't get feelings, or what it means to somebody. You don't get that from the analytics. So when I see you guys comments, and like, maybe it's something a short that made you really laugh, or you really enjoyed it, or something that moved you that I did, whether it was my a little bit more emotional short that I did earlier in the year, or my retrospective that I did, like, hearing that stuff from you guys is big, and I don't want to let that go unnoticed and unappreciated, because it doesn't go unnoticed. It absolutely is appreciated. I don't know that I always outwardly express that in full, but I do greatly appreciate that kind of stuff. So I just want to thank those of you who do that stuff. I also want to thank everybody who's on the Discord. I mean, massive thank you to you guys. You guys are awesome, and I've been so lucky to be able to have many conversations with you after the last 1.5 years that I've had the Discord server up, and getting to know you guys more, and vice versa, getting to know me more as well. We have a lot of fun there. A lot of jokes happen there that trickle into live streams, which many of you guys are probably aware of as well. It's so wonderful, and thank you guys so much for being there and just being really willing to participate in that. It really shows the level of community that we have, and I'm very thankful for that. I was paranoid at first when making a Discord server, because I was worried that nobody would want to join, or if people joined, they wouldn't want to talk. And from what I understand from those of you out there who are on multiple Discord servers and servers of similar size to mine, and what you tell me, it's like a rare gem to have a server of my size that is so active, and to hear something like that is crazy cool. And I absolutely will not take credit for that. I am not taking, I created a server, yes, but the community is something that, you know, we all create together, and it wouldn't be there if not for you guys. So quite frankly, you know, I'm here and I'm a part of it, yes, but the main bulk of the appreciation and the credit goes to you guys, not me. Basically what I did is I built a house. Which is the Discord server. You guys moved into it and made it a home. And that's exactly what the community has become for me personally. And I'm very, 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 very grateful and thankful for that. And I hope you guys know that. And I would love for more of you guys to be there if you guys would like. I can build more rooms to the house. In the same vein of like the Discord server, you know, me building a house and you guys making it a home, the same thing applies to just the community in general. Like past Discord, I don't want us to just be limited to Discord because, you know, some of you guys aren't in Discord but are, you know, regulars in the live streams, or you check out the uploads that I do and whatnot, or the shorts. You guys are still a part of that. I don't want you guys to be excluded from it. The Discord is just like a part of the house that was built, you know, but the community is the whole home. So I just want to thank you guys, all of you guys, for that. Thank you to everybody for being here. Those of you who are both in live streams, commenting, just watching from the shadows, whatever you guys end up doing, you know, I appreciate everything you guys do. I do want to give a couple specific thank yous though to a few people. I want to thank my mods, which are Jaden and Ryu. Thank you very much for your help this past year in streams and making things go smoothly, taking care of any unruly viewers and all that kind of stuff for me, helping me as well, especially during Rebirth, dealing with spoiler comments, because boy was that an issue. I know I put you guys through a lot with that, I feel, and thank you guys for helping me through that and putting up with me and all that kind of stuff during that, because I know that the comment section was a lot, and thank you guys for doing that, because that was very, very important to me, and helping me with that was huge. And Ryu, I know you've helped me with a lot of people in stream too, dealing with us specifically at the end of the year. We had a little bit of a issue, but we got through it. And the last thank you is I want to thank Chief Richie for being the only person who will join me in my talking about things that nobody else wants to talk about. If you're in streams, you know what I'm talking about, because you're the only one who will converse with me about certain topics. So thank you. It's a bit more of a personal and selfish thank you for that one, but thank you, Chief Richie. With some of the more present stuff out of the way, I want to talk about the future and what things to expect, because there are going to be a couple changes. So as previously talked about, I have realized my limits because of Rebirth on what I am capable of and what is too much for me. So there will be some schedule changes moving forward in terms of upload to try to maintain things a little bit easier for me. I'm thinking I want to do more of a 2 upload a week type schedule, starting with Final Fantasy 16, which was a series we talked about starting. You guys voted for which Final Fantasy game you wanted to see next, and you guys voted for 16. So I said that game I want to do as an uploaded series. That uploaded series does not have a set start date. I will keep you guys updated. Definitely stay tuned in the community tab, or if you're on the Discord, you know, just check the announcements tab on there, because I will definitely make sure to share the post there as well. That series should be starting, you know, relatively close to the beginning of the year. I don't want to give any specific date because there's some things I'm trying to get done quick before I start that series, but you could probably expect something end of January, early February type era. Again, do not quote me though. I just need to make sure I can get a couple things done before that point. So in that same vein, something I discussed last year in my review is I want time to be able to work on creative projects. One of the creative projects I worked on last year was the retrospective, which, as I spoke to earlier, was something that meant a lot to me and I was very happy with. You guys seem very happy with it. You guys like that outcome. That is something that I want to do more of this year as well, and I will do more of that this year as well. Whether or not it's a retrospective or if it's a character analysis, a story analysis, I don't know. Maybe one or more of those. I have too many ideas floating around in my head. Some of the things I just said there, you know, like character analysis, retrospective, that kind of stuff. I had a lot of avenues I can go down. I had multiple characters that I'm like, I feel strong enough about this character or know enough about this character or feel a certain way that would allow me to do a retrospective on said character. There were certain games that I'm like, yes, I could do a retrospective on this game or this game or this game. And having all those in my head and how I would do them was overwhelming me to the point where I couldn't pick which one I wanted to do. And the idea of all of them was too much for me to do any of them. And that's why post Rebirth, and as we got into the fall where I started to get my energy back, those things didn't happen. So all in all, I don't know that I got enough out there for my taste. I feel like I should have gotten another retrospective type video, not saying it wouldn't be a retrospective, but that level of video. So like I said, expect more of that kind of stuff. I would say that, you know, once we get through 16, there's probably going to be a break again in upload stuff, and that could be time that I can work on something like this. In fact, I think I know what I'm going to be doing for the next creative thing that I want to do. I will say the other thing that kind of put me off is because in order to make retrospectives, character analyses, I need to have game footage of the game to be able to do it. So it would involve me completely replaying a game in a lot of cases for certain characters that I want to play. That was also very daunting, which was also something that put me off from doing the retrospectives. And yeah, I just really overwhelmed myself with all that kind of stuff, because then I was thinking about all the footage that I had to re-record and how I was going to do that, and it was just a lot. And I need to take it step by step and pursue only a couple things at a time, if not only just one. I don't know, but I need to take a step back and kind of focus myself more on a target instead of looking at multiple targets at the same time and trying to pick which one I'm aiming for. As far as streaming go, shorts go, I want to keep those the same. I'm still going to be shooting for 2 streams a week, 2 shorts a week. I've been able to maintain that without problems for the last couple months here. It hasn't been like a nuisance on me or anything like that, or taxing mentally for me. So some other things to expect for this year in terms of streaming would be definitely the Tales of the Rise DLC. That's the only thing set in stone in terms of a series for this next year to expect. The other thing that I'd like to do more of as well, just because it was such good feedback in this past year, is more Jackbox streams. At some point, I want to buy the remaining Jackbox games that I don't currently own, which are the first 5 packs of Jackbox, because I own 6 through 10. Now that we've gotten through all of 6 through 10 games and we've tried all those, seen which ones we like, I'd like to get some more. And then we can decide which ones we like of those. So the next thing I want to bring up is something that I kind of touched on when talking about Rebirth. And something you might have picked up on is the fact that I'm away from home a lot, which makes it hard to do uploads on a consistent, regular basis, because I have to keep leaving. So I have to work twice as hard before or twice as hard after, or trying to commute and get work done while I'm trying to dog sit or something and just driving back and forth constantly, which is just, you know, draining. So the remedy to that was actually what I decided to spend a lot of the stream money that I've gotten on. Now, as I've said in the past, stream money is something that I'll only put into something that you guys will physically see in some capacity on the channel. Though this is not a physical way that you will see this on the channel, it's going to result in me being able to do content for you even when I'm away, which is going to help my mental health, which is going to hopefully help my energy, make me less stressed, and hopefully not have another Rebirth situation where I'm drained to all hell. It also makes it so when I'm away, I will lots of times sit there and feel like I am wasting my time because I can't work on this stuff. What I purchased was a laptop, so I can actually work on the stuff when I'm away. I have a solid state drive that I'm able to then transport between my main computer and my laptop, so I can work away from home and have my access to certain files that I will need for editing and YouTube type stuff. That way I can stress less about it. I don't have to work 2 times as hard before or after, or worry about how I'm going to get home and when I can be home while I'm sitting for dogs. And it is going to be such a weight off my shoulders. And I know this isn't like a direct, you're going to see this. However, it should help me get more uploaded content out to you guys, which is something you guys will see and also hopefully allow me to have more energy to make that stuff, making the quality of the content better because I'll have more energy to do it. Editing this video right now, I'm actually going to be editing it on my laptop because I'm dog sitting while editing this video. So I was able to do it without worrying about driving over 30 minutes to get back to my apartment and trying to get 30 minutes back to get back to the dog because I have a laptop. And it's freaking incredible. It's awesome. And hopefully you guys see the value of that. The other thing to be looking for in January is a game poll. So I've been doing these throughout the year, this past year, where I do a poll of a bunch of games that you guys have suggested and games that I want to play. And you guys vote which ones you're interested in. You can vote for as many of them as you want. Only one vote per person. Then I take those and I say, okay, well, these are the games that people have the most interest in. So those are the ones that are going to be a higher priority in terms of seeing played on the channel, because that's what you guys want to see. Now, Tales of Arise is a good example. Not every game that, you know, does well on the polls is going to be the next game to play. You know, there might be some financial reason that I'm not doing it, or a schedule reason. For the most part, if they're high numbers, those are going to be the ones that go. So due to the way that I like the game polls, expect more of that moving through 2025. So in terms of goals that I have for this next year, we did not meet the goal that I had last year. I said I wanted to have 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. It did not happen. We did not have as much growth as we had in 2023. In terms of personal growth, I feel like I had a lot. So I learned a lot, you know, through the mistakes, the things that worked and all that kind of stuff. So overall, you know, it was still a positive year. We weren't too far off. I think we had like 10% more subscribers gained in 2023 than 2024, but still a good amount. It would have been nice to at least hit 500, you know, at least half of what my goal was, but we didn't hit that. We'll definitely hit 500 in 2025. That'll be the year. Woohoo! And then we'll unlock new features on the channel, which will be really cool. I'm really looking forward to that because then we can add like emotes. I think you can do like the membership program there. I don't know what I would do for that. I'd have to think about that first. I want it to be worth it to be a part of that. So I got to brainstorm on that more. So it'd be really, really cool to get to 1,000. I will have to work my ass off to kind of get that done. It's understandable that we didn't get it this last year. I wasn't doing uploads for half the year. You know, maybe if I put in my full effort 100% the whole year, maybe it would have turned out differently. Maybe it wouldn't have. I don't know. Yeah, it's the woulda, coulda, shoulda type situation again. So before wrapping up this video, I want to take some time to do some awards for some people on the channel. Now, as a disclaimer, because I don't want people to feel left out, obviously, thank you to each and every one of you, regardless of whether or not there's a reward with your name on it. I question doing these awards because I don't want people to feel bad. But since we live in a world where we all get participation awards, you guys all get a participation trophy. Everybody gets one. Everybody gets a participation trophy. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all you guys do. This is my trophy of appreciation for you guys. Now, I have some very specific awards to give though as well. These trophies are just meant to be fun. A lot of these are just funny and silly names. The more I grow my channel, the harder it is going to be to do these awards. At some point, they're probably going to have to stop, but for now, we're going to keep them going. So the first award is the Clipper Award. This award is for the person who clipped the most clips on the channel for live streams and all that kind of stuff. And this trophy goes to Sunstar. Thank you, Sunstar, for all the clipping you do. It definitely does not go unnoticed and is very, very appreciated. It has helped me make some shorts and will be used for some best of clips as well. So thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it greatly. The second award is the Chief of Chaos Award. This award should not be surprising who it's gonna go to. And of course, this trophy is going to Chief Richie. Always causing the chaos in streams. It has been a iconic thing on the channel now at this point. Thank you for all the chaos you cause. You say it's to keep me humble. I still don't buy it, but on a very serious note, I actually really appreciate all you do. And you actually have conversations with me that nobody else will have about funny topics to me. And I never know what you're gonna say. And that's really the joy of it all. And I'm very, very, very thankful that you found our community this year. And I hope you know how much I appreciate you being there. So thank you for all you do. For our third trophy, we have the New Fish Award. This award goes to someone who is a new fish or new meat, fresh meats, however you want to say it. There's a lot of different sayings for it. Basically, a new person on the channel who is a part of the community now. And that award goes to Crispy Joking Tuna. Pun intended on the new fish. So the reason why I wanted to give you this award is because you have been someone who joined us through the Pokemon series that I did and have stuck with us since, which has been absolutely wonderful. And you have both communicated on the Discord and in live streams, and it's really awesome that you are here and you definitely feel like a strong part of the community. So I wanted to make sure to acknowledge and show my appreciation for all you do and being here. So thank you very much, Tina. And our fourth award is the Pet of the Year award. This is a very important award that goes to the pet that showed the most support this year on the channel. And unsurprisingly, this award goes to Gizmo. Thank you, Gizmo, for all the support you do, all the crying that you whine at Ryu for, wanting to be a part of all my streams, because that is definitely why you're crying and want to be in the room, because you want to watch the streams for sure. You are my biggest supporter and my biggest fan on the channel. I hope you know I appreciate you. I will command Ryu to give you all the pets and all the snuggles because you deserve it and you are literally king. So thank you very much, Gizmo. Hopefully Ryu lets you still join me for 2025. Not that Ryu has a choice. On to award number 5, and this is the Sugar Daddy of the Year award. The Sugar Daddy of the Year award goes to the person who basically gave the most to the channel. This award goes to Shellen. Thank you very much, Shellen. I promise the Sugar Daddy is only a fun name for the title. I will not be calling you my Sugar Daddy, but it is very funny. Thank you very much, Shellen, for all you do and all you give. You were so incredibly generous. I don't even know where to begin to thank you. I know I've said this before, but it can't be iterated enough. The fact that you care enough about, I guess, me, the channel, and this community in general to give as much as you do is mind-blowing to me. It's hard to fathom that like what I do warrants how much you give. And I don't know if it's something I'm doing, if it's just what a caring and wholesome person you are to just, you know, selflessly give that to somebody else or a combo, I don't know, but I'm eternally grateful to you. A huge reason why I'm able to do some of the stuff and make the purchase that I did with a laptop, for example, was because of many generous donations that you have given me this past year, and I refuse to let my appreciation be understated. And I know I obviously thank you in full whenever those pop up, whenever you've done that in the past, but I mean, quite frankly, that's not enough to show how much appreciation I have for that. I've never been good at what to say when being given something like that, where someone's being that level of generous to me. So it's hard for me to find the words. It's just not something I'm accustomed to, I guess. And you're just a really good guy, and you know, keep on being you, and thank you for being you. And the 6th and final award is the Impress My Parents award. This award goes to someone who impressed my parents when I went over to their house and they talked about it one day when I was watching a video back with them. And this award goes to none other than our dragon friend, Toothless. You were able to impress my parents when I went over there one day and we were watching a Jackbox stream back where we were playing Blather Round, and you were able to get an answer to a prompt so quickly. They're like, what? How? So thank you for participating in that and being a part of that, and also sharing your giant brain with us. All right, everybody. Well, that will do it for this review and reflection. I hope you guys have enjoyed. There was a lot to go through here. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. Hopefully it's not too long for you guys, with timestamps maybe a little bit more digestible. Again, thank you guys all so much for being here and just being a part of this reflection and review. Let's hope that 2025 is even better than 2024. Hopefully I can keep bringing smiles to your guys' faces and content for you guys to enjoy even when times get rough. If I can do that, then I can say I can die a happy man. Happy New Year to you all, and I will see you guys in 2025. Bye, everybody.